Have you ever been watching a movie or maybe playing a video game, and a character that's supposed to look human just gives you the creeps? It's not a monster, it's not the villain, but something about it is just deeply, fundamentally wrong. Well, you are not alone. And that feeling, it actually has a name. Today, we're diving deep into the uncanny valley. Okay, so let's start with something simple. Think about a classic, cartoony robot. It's cute, it's clearly made of metal and wires, and it's not really trying to be human. We find characters like this charming, right? There's no confusion, so our brain just accepts it instantly as a friendly machine. No problem. Now, let's swing to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, a stunning piece of modern CGI. This is so realistic, so incredibly lifelike, that it's almost impossible to tell it's not a real person. Our brain sees it and just goes, yep, that's a human face. We're impressed, not unsettled. But what happens when you land somewhere in the middle? When something is almost human? All of a sudden, the skin looks a little too smooth. The eyes don't blink quite right. And that smile, it feels totally hollow. Every little detail is almost there. And it's those tiny imperfections that create this feeling of just revulsion. It's just creepy. That specific skin-crawling feeling isn't just you imagining things. It's a real, documented psychological phenomenon. So what is it exactly? Where does it come from? And why on earth are our brains programmed to react like this? All right, let's put a name to that eerie sensation. Turns out, scientists and artists have been wrestling with this exact problem for decades. It is called the uncanny valley. The idea is actually pretty simple. We like things that are a little human-like, and we like things that are perfectly human-like. But there is this deep valley of repulsion right in between for things that are just slightly off. And, this idea didn't come from Hollywood. It was coined way back in 1970 by a robotics professor named Masahiro Mori. He wasn't thinking about movies at all. He was studying why people were so creeped out by the advanced androids he was seeing. Mori's theory is easiest to understand with a simple graph. So on one side, you've got an industrial robot. We feel pretty positive about it. On the far side, you have a healthy human. Our positive feelings are, very high. But as an object gets almost human, our liking for it doesn't just dip a little, it absolutely plummets. That massive nosedive of revulsion in the middle, that is the uncanny valley. So that explains the what. But it really doesn't explain the why. Why is this response so universal? Well, it turns out there might be some very old, very deep-seated evolutionary reasons for it. I mean, the response feels instinctual, doesn't it? Like some ancient alarm system is going off. When our brain sees something that should be human but isn't quite right, it flashes this massive warning signal. And scientists have a few really compelling theories as to why this creepiness detector even exists. The leading theories really tap into our deepest survival instincts. So first up is mate selection. Our brain might see these subtle flaws as signs of poor health, basically signaling a partner to avoid. The second is pathogen avoidance. Weird-looking skin or lifeless eyes could trigger our instinct to stay away from disease. And the third is just pure brain glitch. Our mind struggles to put something in the human box and the not human box at the same time, and that confusion creates this deep unease. And this isn't just a problem for robotics professors anymore. For decades, it's been one of the single biggest challenges for animators, video game designers, and visual effects artists. This is a constant battle for creators. Just think back to some of those early attempts at realistic CGI in the 2000s. The technology was totally groundbreaking, but it often landed characters squarely in the uncanny valley, making them memorable for all the wrong reasons. And this has real consequences for the story itself. If you don't feel empathy for the main character, if you're just too busy being creeped out by their face, you can't connect with them. The whole emotional core of the story just breaks down. But escaping this valley isn't just about making better movies anymore. It's now a fundamental hurdle for the entire future of AI and robotics. Whether we're talking about AI assistants, social robots designed to help the elderly, or realistic digital avatars for the metaverse, the uncanny valley is basically the final boss. If these creations feel unsettling, we will reject them, period. For them to succeed, they have to feel natural and trustworthy. At the end of the day, the goal is to build technology that integrates seamlessly into our lives. And to do that, it has to climb out of that creepy valley and get to the other side, where it feels completely familiar, completely trustworthy, and just comfortable to be around. Which leaves us with a final, pretty fascinating question. As our technology gets closer and closer to perfectly mimicking humanity, will we ever fully escape that deep-seated, instinctual feeling of unease? Or is the uncanny valley just a permanent feature of being human?